We're doing the laws of idolatry that have many different components to it. Okay, chapter 4. Those who lead the inhabitants of a Jewish city astray are executed by stoning, even though they themselves do not worship false deities, but merely proselytize to the inhabitants of their city until they worshipped it. Whoa. So there's nothing worse than inciting people to go to engage in idolatry. Yeah. The inhabitants of the city that has been led astray, Iranidachas as it's called in Hebrew, are executed by decapitation if their worship of the false deity of the accepted as a god. What is the source? It serves as a warning against proselytizing on behalf of false deity. Let none, the name of the other deity, be heard through your mouth. The city is not condemned as an Ir Dinachas until two or more individuals attempt to lead its inhabitants astray. So there's, details on this, right? Of what is this city. Now, imagine a whole city. Well, actually, we're going to have the details. I don't know if it's a whole city or it's, we'll see the details. Actually, I don't know. Whatever, we'll see. So two or more individuals attempt to lead the inhabitants astray. Unfaithful people who have emerged, the people who lead them astray must be from that tribe and from that city, as the verse continues, from your midst, as the verse says. Those led astray must be the majority of the city's inhabitants. They must number at least 100 to the majority of a tribe. However, the majority of a tribe is led astray. They are judged as individuals. There must be at least 100 to the majority. Those led astray must be a majority of the city's inhabitants. They must number from at least 100 to the majority of the tribe. If, however, the majority of the tribe is led astray, they are judged as individuals, as implied by the phrase of the following verse, and the inhabitants of the city, neither a small village or a large metropolis. If there are fewer than 100, it's considered a small village. If the majority of the tribe is involved, it's considered a large metropolis. Similarly, laws applying to an Ir Nidachas are not enforced if the people who led them astray were women or minors. They were led astray by a single individual. A minority of the city were led astray. They turned to idols on their own initiative. Or those who led them astray came from outside the city, right? Then these laws don't apply. Instead, the violators are considered to be individuals who worship false deities. All those who worship are executed by stoning. The estate is given to their heirs, like in other executed by a court. In other words, it's not a collective, punishment of the city. If it's one individual that led them astray, or someone from outside of the city, or they themselves led themselves astray, or it was less than the majority, right? In all those instances, there's still a judgment of idolatry, but it's an individual one rather than a collective one. The point over here, we're learning about what it means collective punishment. The laws of Ir and Nidachas is enforced only by a court of 71 judges, as implied by the verse, and you shall take the man or the woman who did the wicked thing to your gates. This can be interpreted to mean individuals are executed by the courts, which are found in the gates of every city. Multitude of only executed, and a multitude is only executed by Supreme Court. Now there's individuals you're taking to the judges at the particular city where the transgression, the idolatry took place. As opposed to when it comes to this city, it's excluding and it has to be by 71 judges. None of the cities of Russia can be condemned as an Ir Nidachas, as implied by the verse. One of your cities And Ir Dinach is not considered a city. Similarly, Jerusalem can never be condemned as an Ir Dinach because it was not divided among the tribes. Right, so it's not a city that belongs to a particular tribe. The bordered city is never condemned as Ir Dinach, so that non-Jews will not enter and destroy Eretz Yisrael. Right, because they are a buffer for any of those who are trying to come in to conquer the heartland. Huh? Yeah, today, exactly. One court should not condemn three cities located next to each other as an Ir Dechas. If the cities are separated from each other, they may condemn them. A city is not condemned as Ir Nidachs unless the two proselytize the inhabitants, address them in plural, telling them, "Let us go and worship. Let us go and sacrifice. Let us go and bring a burnt offering. Let us go and offer a libation. Let us go and bow down. Let us go and accept the deity as God." The inhabitants must listen and then worship the deity with its accepted mode of worship, or through one of the four modes of worship mentioned in chapter 3, halacha 3, or accept it as a god. What happens if the conditions are not fulfilled with regard to a city or to those who proselytize its inhabitants? Warnings are given to each person. Worship false deities. Testimony is given against them. They are executed by zoning as individuals who worship false gods, and their estates are given to their heirs. Right, because then it becomes an individual thing. So their property can now be inherited. Ir Nidachas, everything's burnt in the city. You can't have any benefit from it. In other words, since it's such a sweeping, wide, engagement of idolatry, it's got a different law. That's why the parameters are very important to know where, what would be such a city. Okay, I would love to continue, but it's Purim.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Thank you, Rabbi.